some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either.
I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender. And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a black man.
Distinguished guests and men and women of the finest military in the world. And most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael and I.
You guys, have you heard about this latest drama? The rapper and actor Ice Cube just said some things about Barack and Michelle Obama in public, and it's getting a lot of people talking. Fans online are going crazy because they think what Ice Cube is saying connects to those old, weird rumors about Michelle Obama. You know, the ones that say she's been hiding a huge secret about herself for her entire life. It's a really wild story that a lot of people have talked about for years. This whole situation makes a lot of people remember the comedian Joan Rivers. She used to joke about this exact same rumor all the time, right up until she passed away. She was never afraid to be shady and bring it up. So now that Ice Cube is also making comments, fans are putting the pieces together and are totally convinced something big is going on. They think he's hinting that the rumors about Michelle might actually be true.
Do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
When Ice Cube said that, everyone was completely shocked. People online and in conversations are still talking about it nonstop. They're sharing their theories and trying to figure out if there's a bigger story there. Now, I just want to be clear, all of this is just guessing. These are just rumors that people are talking about. But even though it's just speculation, it's definitely causing a lot of excitement and getting a ton of attention. So, my job is just to tell you what everyone is already discussing all over the internet. The big questions people are trying to answer are, why did Ice Cube suddenly want nothing to do with the Obamas? What could his comments mean for those strange rumors about Michelle Obama? And is the perfect image of the Obama family maybe not the whole truth? That's what everyone is wondering about.
I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. I'm 60 years old. I've finished a really hard thing in my life with my family intact. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in, they've been launched. And now for the first time, as I've said before, every choice that I'm making is completely mine.
All right, so first, let's talk about Ice Cube himself. The most important thing to know about Ice Cube is that he has never been afraid to say exactly what he's thinking. He's always been like that. But recently, he's been even more outspoken. He's been publicly calling out politicians, and he's not being nice about it. He's been saying that he thinks they are all phonies and that the whole political system is broken. He feels like everyone in power is just pretending, playing a part in a game that doesn't help regular people. If you listen to his recent interviews, you'll notice he seems totally finished with the whole fight between Democrats and Republicans. He doesn't seem to think either side is good. A good example of this goes back to 2020. That's when he started his big project called The Contract with Black America. His goal was to get both political parties to make real promises to help Black communities. But instead of talking about his ideas, a lot of news stations tried to make it seem like he was suddenly supporting Donald Trump. Ice Cube had to explain himself clearly. He said he doesn't really trust any politician, whether they're a Democrat or a Republican. He was trying to hold everyone accountable, not just pick a side.
I believe neither party want to give us nothing or not too much. I think, we've in a lot of ways been sold out, not just the Black community, just period people. We've been sold out to the banks and all the people that make money off us. So, only thing these people really respect is staying in office or getting in office.
So, what does Ice Cube think about Barack Obama specifically? Well, Cube has talked about this. He said that when Obama was first elected president, he was really excited, just like millions of other people. At the time, it felt like a huge, important moment in history. The way Obama campaigned made a lot of people feel hopeful and believe that real change was coming. But then, as time went on, Ice Cube started to look at what was actually happening. He felt like he wasn't seeing the changes he had hoped for, especially in black neighborhoods across the country. From his point of view, it seemed like Obama got elected with a lot of support from black voters, which was a historic achievement, but the everyday problems that people were facing didn't really get better. In Cube's opinion, the big, concrete improvements that people needed just never happened.
You know, for the first time, I felt proud that America took that step.
Yep.
I didn't think they would ever do that. And so that was a moment in time. But then, you know, you look around, years go by, and, you know, not much change for people I know, people I care about. But it didn't change with Bush, it didn't change with Clinton, it didn't change with the other Bush or Reagan. You know, at the end of the day, it's still the same result.
You have to remember that the Obamas were always seen with the biggest and most famous black celebrities. They were close with people like Jay-Z and Beyoncé, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. It seemed like they had a whole group of famous friends from Hollywood who supported them. But one person you never really saw them with was Ice Cube. The Obamas never publicly thanked him or talked about the good work he's done in his own community over the years. So it makes you wonder, why was that? A lot of people think it's because Ice Cube doesn't like to play by the rules. He's not a go-along-to-get-along kind of person. He speaks his mind, and that might not fit with the very polished and professional image the Obamas are known for. And Ice Cube basically confirmed this himself. He said straight up that he's not part of their club. He even said that the Obama team tried to get him to join their circle, but he told them no. He wasn't interested in being part of that group.
Some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what, who? Come on.
Okay, so here's the main idea from Ice Cube. He's basically saying, I don't support the powerful people in charge, and the Obamas are definitely part of that group. But this is just the beginning of the story. The club that Cube says he's not in? Well, some people believe this group has a specific plan. They think this plan is being pushed really hard through things like TV news, movies, and music. This leads us to the part that people have been quietly talking about for years, the rumors about Michelle Obama. Now, I need to be clear, I am not saying these rumors are true. I'm just explaining what a lot of people are discussing online and why this strange story just won't go away. Most of us remember the famous comedian Joan Rivers. Not long before she died, she was recorded on video saying a shocking thing about Michelle Obama. Then, Joan Rivers died very suddenly during a minor surgery. Was it just a coincidence? Sure, that's possible. But a lot of people found the timing to be very suspicious and hard to believe.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She doesn't.
After Joan Rivers died, the rumors about her death started popping up online again. This happened because an old letter written by a young Barack Obama came to light. In this letter, which he wrote to an ex-girlfriend when he was 21 years old, Obama talked about his personal thoughts. He wrote about having fantasies about men in his mind, and he described his mind as being both masculine and feminine. He wrote that he wanted to see people just as people, not as men or women. When this private letter became public, a lot of people on social media went wild. They saw it as more evidence that maybe Joan Rivers was right about her shocking claims. Some people even started to believe the theory that Joan Rivers was silenced because she knew too much about the Obama secrets. As for the specific things Joan Rivers said about Michelle Obama, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on that. But it's a fact that many people online are convinced. They spend hours looking at old videos and photos of Michelle Obama, and they point to certain moments that they believe are proof that she is not who she says she is. The strange thing is, no matter how many times news organizations or fact-checkers say these rumors are silly, they never really go away. People just keep talking about them. This is partly because a lot of people feel like the Obamas have a lot of hidden secrets. For example, let's talk about their connections to powerful money. The Obamas were supposed to be regular people who understood regular Americans. But after they left the White House, they became very wealthy and connected to huge banks and big corporations. These are the same big companies that many people blame for making life harder for working-class families. So for some, it feels like the Obamas are now part of the very powerful system they once said they wanted to change.
Obama made sure the bankers got their bonuses while he kicked 5.1 million families out of their homes. Not people, 5.1 million families. And then you find out that he got more money from Wall Street than John McCain did. And you find out that...
Did he really?
Yes. And that there was an email from Wall Street, from Citigroup, to the Barack Obama campaign with a list of people they wanted in his cabinet. Every person on that list ended up in his cabinet. And the reason I know that, because that got released by WikiLeaks, and that's why they've been trying to kill Julian Assange ever since. And so they all are working. He wasn't a departure from George W. Bush, Barack Obama, just his skin color. He took us from 2 wars to 7. He gave us a right-wing healthcare plan, which came out of the Heritage Foundation, which is the same people I gave you Project 2025. And, he gave us Mitt Romney's healthcare plan. So, and he deported all those. He dropped more bombs than George Bush, and nobody noticed.
We also have to talk about schools and jobs during the Obama years. A lot of the plans that came from the White House seemed to help people who were already doing okay, like the middle class. But for people living in poorer neighborhoods in the cities, it didn't feel like much really improved. A lot of folks in those communities felt like they were forgotten and that their struggles were ignored. When you add that feeling to the Obamas' super famous Hollywood lifestyle, it makes some people ask a big question. Were the Obamas really fighting for us? Or were they just a friendly face we were supposed to like while everything in the country stayed pretty much the same? This big question is exactly why those strange rumors about Michelle Obama just won't go away. For the people who believe them, the rumors are about more than just one secret. They're about the idea of being lied to, about controlling what the public sees, and about wondering what truly happens behind the closed doors of the powerful. And when you look at the people who were closest to the Obamas, some stories are really strange. For example, there was their personal chef, a man named Tafari Campbell. He drowned in a pond near the Obamas' home, even though the water was not very deep and he was known to be a good swimmer. To a lot of people, that just doesn't make sense. It has led some to whisper a dark theory. What if he knew a secret about the family? Maybe about Michelle, or something else they wanted to keep hidden. They wonder if his death was more than just a tragic accident.
He has exclusively been their chef for that many years and has traveled extensively all over the world with them. This is the gentleman who fell off the paddleboard in the pond at their Martha's Vineyard estate. And I say estate, it's enormous. If you have not seen it, look it up. And he died. He sank to the bottom of a pond like a lead balloon and never resurfaced, which seems pretty suspicious.
And it's not just the chef. There are other people connected to the Obamas who have quietly disappeared from public view. We're talking about staff members, old friends, and other associates who used to be close to the family and would have seen what their private life was really like. Sure, people change jobs and move on all the time. That's normal. But when you hear about so many people fading away, and then you add that to all the other rumors, it starts to feel like maybe it's not just a coincidence. It begins to look like a pattern. This is where the story circles back to the rumors about Michelle Obama. If she really was hiding a major secret about her identity, then it would make sense that the family would want to keep anyone who knew the truth very quiet. They would probably want those people to stay far away from the public eye. I'm not saying that anything illegal definitely happened. But when you mix huge celebrity, powerful politics, and big secrets, it always creates suspicion. People start to notice things that seem odd. And where there's suspicion, people on the internet are quick to believe there must be a reason for it. Now, think about why Ice Cube is speaking out. He's pulling away from the Obamas and talking about a secret club that runs things. You have to wonder if he noticed the same pattern of people disappearing and secrets being kept. Ice Cube has always been the type of person to say what he thinks, from his early music with NWA to his recent projects. He doesn't like to play by the rules of the powerful people in charge. And that's exactly why those powerful people have often tried to ruin his reputation, because he isn't afraid to point out what he sees.
How do you feel about the beer companies that pulled the commercial you endorsed because of your anti-Jew lyrics?
Well,
anti-Semitic lyrics would be a nicer way of putting it.
Well, the lyrics aren't really anti-Semitic, and I can't understand, you know, I listen to people like the Simon Wiesenthal and Rabbi Cooper, and am I getting this wrong? Are they saying that they condone what Jerry Heller or some of these other people have done to me? Do they say that it's all right for Jewish managers to get young black kids with talent off the street without without lawyers and without people that was helping me in my benefit to make records? That's what I'm getting out of this, and I really would like to speak to Rabbi Cooper about that, you know, because maybe, you know, if they're getting mixed messages on that side of the table, I'm kind of getting mixed messages on this side of the table.
No matter what your personal opinion is of Ice Cube, you have to admit that his whole career has been about one thing: telling the truth as he sees it. He became famous by pointing out what's fake and calling out people in power who he thinks are hypocrites. So, when someone like that decides to distance himself from the Obamas, it's a big deal. It's probably not something he did without a good reason. But to really understand this, we have to look at the bigger picture. This story isn't just about Ice Cube being angry, and it's not even just about the Obamas as a family. Some people believe that Barack and Michelle Obama weren't just regular politicians who got elected. They think the couple was actually chosen and trained by even more powerful people behind the scenes. The idea is that they were made to look like the perfect, ideal black family for the public, while the real systems of power in the country stayed exactly the same. This is where people start talking about secret, puppet masters pulling the strings. And this is also the main reason why those wild rumors about Michelle Obama never completely disappear. People look at the incredibly polished and perfect image of the Obamas and feel like there must be more to the story. They think that no public image can be that flawless, so they start digging for hidden layers. So what do you think? How much of the Obamas' public story do you believe is truly real, and how much of it was carefully written and managed for the public? And do you believe the rumors about Michelle are just silly internet gossip, or could there be some truth to them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to watch the next video for more on this story.